Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my channel slash DaveeMoo-Sky. And just, hold on, this is going to be really loud for a second. And welcome back to me working, I want to say my Amazon job. Sorry, I'm going to put this here. Yeah. And, welcome back. And, well, you know, I thought that I at least talk about for quite a couple of minutes, or at least maybe up to an hour. I know it's probably hard to see me, I'm like, in and out, because I want to look active and productive, and I want to make sure people me doing my job, which is very, how can I say, it's kind of aggravating and it's kind of annoying. So at the same time, I can't really say, hey, what is going on? Because I know I look reflective and my vest isn't white this time, it's actually orange. I know, it sucks. I have to just toss things over. That's somebody's package that they paid for. Somebody's at a I wanted to talk about something today, and I don't really care if this reaches like Amazon or Amazon sees an NDA, or if I am breaking an NDA. Actually, who really cares? I don't really care if Amazon sees this at some point. But I can't say that one thing that really gets wrong with here's not the talent thing or the lines, like this is what I'm doing. But this requires one person out of like maybe 4 or 5 people on one line, which is over there or down here by the trucks. And what gets annoying is when you're on the line, either by yourself or with somebody else, they're not doing what they really need to do, and something, it gets annoying. Or when it's you and another person getting backed up on a line and you are doing something, and another person walks over and they just look at you, and they look at the line, and then they just go dumbfounded and lazy eyed. I don't mean to say these things to be offensive to people, but it's the reality of working here at Amazon. And it gets annoying sometimes. It gets extremely annoying. So what happens is they come in and stand there, they look at you, the line, then they look back at you, and then they walk away. And let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that shit, it gets annoying. It gets super, it's unrealistic just to watch somebody do that instead of just sitting there and be like, oh, hey, we're gonna help you, or I'm gonna help you guys in clearing up this line because it's getting backed up. No, they just pick up a box, look at it, say, and then they walk away. They walk a fuck away. And it's so stupidly unrealistic just to imagine someone who is going to come over and help instead of just looking at something like, for example, oh, I'm just going to look at this box and I don't see it, or I'm going to pretend not to see it and be like, oh, that doesn't work out. Plus, I feel like people people like me, new people, like beginners, like I'm like maybe 2-3 weeks in to working for Amazon. I'm not even a month yet here, and should be given complete and utter like freedom to choose where they want to go instead of being told where to go or what to do. But then again, I know that that's what keeps order. So people aren't just like, oh yeah, I don't want to do advertising today. Or I don't want to do this today. Or that today. And let's be realistic about that for a minute before I get back into what I was originally talking about. Realistically, I feel like, yes, you should be given free will to do what you feel that you want to do, instead of just being told what to do or where to go exactly, such as like pelletizing, flats, fluids. I forgot what the other thing was. Picking, or how can I say, or the slam, not geo, but a slam where you take packages, you take it back to the lines or the belts, and you just put it back on the belts and they go shifting around where they need to go. I feel like realistically that should be, because you're basically going to learn how to do everything. You're basically going to learn how to do palletizing, flats, fluids. Actually, technically, nobody really taught me about fluids nor flats. Actually, no, flats was like my second week of training. Fluids, nobody really taught me about it. Me, I kind of just picked it up from watching other people, and then, you know, from my other live streams of me working my Amazon job, is make a wall. That's it. Make a wall. Make it about like maybe 1-2 inches apart. Actually, yeah, maybe like 4 inches apart. And you just start hucking shit, like small boxes, like these kinds of boxes. Now, it's not necessary to scan them, but I want to make sure that these people know that I'm actually doing something instead of nothing. Because while I stand back here, nothing is really getting done, and I don't want them to think, oh, you know, he's not doing anything more than which is time off task. And I get in trouble for that, and I don't know how Amazon works on, you know, I don't know if they give like marks or strikes, you know, like if there is a mark system or a strike system that pertains to you getting written up. I want to believe you can get written up. Like, I feel like Amazon isn't straight up like, oh, we're just going to fire you directly on the spot. Because that wouldn't exactly be fair, because it doesn't teach anybody anything. Here you go, you got written up, you're getting suspended for this amount of days, and I don't want to say that like it's cool, but like, they suspend you for this amount of days, then you're able to come back because they believe that you learned from, you know, consequences of your actions, and then you come back to work, and you're not going to do it again, you're going to take matters a little more seriously. But on a different scale, I would have to say that, actually I have nothing else more to say about what goes on. Like, personally, me, I just come here, I do my job, I get paid the money, I move on with life, I do my live streams at home. That's about it. I've kind of moved down with doing like recordings or video recordings because half the time the internet is kind of lame or lazy or kind of gets a little backed up and then things don't get uploaded. But hello. I do a lot of streaming now. Like, if I'm not playing something, and if I'm not live, instead of like recording it a day ahead or uploading it another day, And I do want to do that. I do want to get back into recording videos. Right now I've fallen into the fact of doing a live stream. I've also did a live stream last night into this morning, which ended around like 12:30-ish. And it was the Blair Witch game for PlayStation 4. I realized that putting myself a part of a party during these horror these horror games isn't really the best, because you can't exactly hear what's going on in the game. And it makes me feel bad because I played 4 hours of that game to get to the end, to get the ending where I treated Bullet correctly, and I treated him as, like, you know, not a dog, but a family member, and, you know, I took care of him, and he survived, even though the game showed that, you know, hey, you killed him, but you didn't, because you're a psycho with a mental illness called PTSD, because the character, his name is Ellis, and he suffers great amounts of PTSD. Why does he suffer this PTSD? Well, he basically watched all of his teammates die, and he couldn't really do anything about it. And it shit sucks. And it was a really good game. It was a lot of twists and turns, and a lot of madhouse effects, and things that, you know, made a lot of sense in the game, but other than that, it was fun. It was a fun game. Now getting back to the lines and the issue with people just standing there or walking over, staring at you, and then walking away, that shit, it gets... How can I be as tender as possible about the situation, even though I don't want to be tender? And for those who know my channel, I'm not tender whatsoever. I'm being belligerent and vulgar about it. And I do have to say that when people come over, regardless if they're gonna, like, stand there and pitter-patter on their phone, like what I'm doing right now. Well, technically I'm not pitter-pattering on my phone, I'm live streaming, but not a lot is really coming down the line, so technically I'm kind of doing my job over here. What goes around comes around, I guess, but if you want to comment, you can take care to do that. Hey, I don't really care, man, you fuck yourself. But for when I am working hard, and I am on the palletizing line, which is over there or over here, not in this area, this is fluids. This whole container that I'm in, complete fluids. This is totally different from what's over there. Over there is palletizing. Over there, outside of the truck, or outside of the truck, the inside cargo area, is considered palletizing as well. All the way over there is flats. And for reasons, I just want to say that it's not comfortable for when it's either me by myself getting backed up on the line with like maybe 20, 50 boxes, and then the line going blue because they're getting jammed on top of each other. It's going to send more, like the more the delay of the jam that is not resolved, the more time that it takes up, that more packages are just going to come down the line and they're going to cause another jam. And that shit sucks, especially when you're by yourself. And that shit really, like, it's unnerving because now you're rushing to do things and nobody's coming over to help, and it's just you by yourself. And people see this. Like, mind you, like, sometimes the supervisors will come over, but they will not help. They will unclog the jam for you so that you can get, like, boxes out of the way. But sometimes they'll just do that, which I guess is considered quote-unquote helping at some point. I don't want to say it's helping, but then again, I don't want to say it's helping when all they do is they clear the jam, and they move along. They walk away. They don't even bother to come over and be like, boop, 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 boop. Let me start throwing shit into carts, into gaylords, into bigger boxes, which are the gaylords. Just we pick up a couple of boxes and start scanning stuff so I can help this person out because they're struggling. And, the struggle here, it varies really. It varies so much. It could vary from incredible amounts of struggling to low amounts of struggling or minimalistic amounts of struggling. And when it gets to the overbearing extreme amounts of struggle, it becomes annoying because nobody comes over, nobody helps you, you're by yourself, you're stressing out, you're trying to get this done. Try not to have a supervisor come over and be like, what's going on here? Why aren't you picking up the line? That sometimes gets annoying too. It's embarrassing to sometimes have a supervisor come over, unclock the gym while they see me, scanning boxes, throwing boxes into gaylords, throwing boxes into carts, or placing boxes into carts, scanning those boxes onto other boxes, making carts, scanning this barcode, this letter, which is a QR code, and it's a lot, man. It's a lot. It's stressful for when things are just going so quick. And some days are not like that. Some days, kind of boring, nothing really goes on. They send you to other areas, that need help. And me, I'm a very helpful person. I'll go to a line. If I see somebody struggling, I'll go over and I'll start helping on the boxes to where they need to go. Of course, it's going to take me like a couple of seconds to be like, okay, this box was there, that box was there, that box was there, that box was there. Closing out this cart, taking that to the staging area or dock door, which is where I'm at, or inside. And just bringing it there, going back, grabbing another cart, and just placing the cart down. And just reopening what I closed out. But it gets really annoying sometimes. Especially what I mentioned before, or after mentioning that being on your lonesome in one of the lines, that shit is troublesome. That shit is so troublesome and stressful that sorry, ladies and gentlemen. My thirst over here. I'm a thirsty boy. I'm a thirsty man. But, yeah. When it's just you and your lonesome and things are getting backed up and supervisors are obviously seeing this and nobody's coming over to help you on jam, you gotta jam yourself and then you're just getting jammed up again. And it's just, man, it's so annoying. It's so annoying when it comes down to it. And if you're rushing to do things, you're stressing out, like you're just overclocking your brain, your body, just everything. You're overclocking to get shit done. And like sometimes people will come over and they'll lend a hand, but like they'll stay for like a little bit and then they'll walk away, which is appreciative, but I wish they would stay longer, to help out, clear up the line until it starts slowing down. And some people do that. Some people walk over and be like, hey, I'm going to give you a helping hand. I'm going to help you until the line starts slowing down. Or, there you go. And then I can just pick up the pace again where, normally the pace is kind of slow. I can just start getting stuff into, its respective places or its respective carts or gateways. And it sometimes just becomes outrageously annoying. And I know I'm becoming a lot more repetitive now, and I'm becoming a lot more repeating of what I'm saying, but it's so anger. It's so much anger and it's so much stress, and it's just annoying. It's like, it pisses me off to see, like, I was working on one over here in the docking area, or the dock door area, on a palletizer all over there to like the left side. And I know you're wondering, like, this is my left hand, this is my right hand. This point's left, this point's right. Maybe But I was working to the left, and I was out there working on one of the lines for palletizing, helping people out, picking up the lines, trying to get stuff into where it needs to go. And then, I'm starting to get backed up, I'm starting to get stressed out. I'm closing out like 4 to 5 different carts, and nobody's bringing over carts while I'm taking carts elsewhere. I gotta go over and get carts now. Like, I know the job would be like that sometimes, and it is like that sometimes, and I know that that's what the job is. But when you work in a giant warehouse, it should be nothing but teamwork. It should be nothing but people lending a hand, people helping out when they're seeing people struggle. Just help one another out. Because now, in the back of my mind, it makes me think, why should I help a person out if they can't come over and help me out? And sometimes that shit gets annoying. Like, I'll let the favor, or I'll do people like a kindness, and I'll go over and I'll help them. I'll expect them to come over, leave their line, come over, help me out a little bit. They don't. They just stay at that line just because it got, done, cleared out. And it's just, but getting back to today, I was over onto the left side, down here over by the doctors, and I was doing one of the lines over here at I think it was like 175 or 176 or 185 or 186 somewhere. One of those lines for the doctors, and it was just outrageous. It was outrageous, and I'm sitting there, and I'm clearing out cards, I'm closing cards to bring them to, their dock doors or their respective staging areas, and, I'm trying to do this as quickly as possible, I'm walking, sometimes I'm fucking like fast walking or running with the cards just to get shit out of the way. I'm not trying to rush myself because, I want the day to go by like that. I want it to go by quick. And sometimes it's not like that. Sometimes it is like that, but most of the time it's not. But, however, I'm standing there, going through boxes, getting boxes, making carts, and this lady, skinny lady, wearing like a pink jacket. I believe she was one of the assistants because she had a walkie-talkie, she had a tablet to open up the trucks and whatnot. And she's standing there at the end of my line, like at least as far as I am from the camera right now, or at least like right here, so that she's not at least like touching the end of the belt, right? And she's just standing there. She's standing there, and she's just staring at the line. She's staring at me, and it's making me nervous. It's making me anxious. It's embarrassing. I'm now getting embarrassed because this person who I want to say has a higher up position than I do, it's just embarrassing for me. And all of their colleagues are walking by and they're seeing this, and, I don't even ask for help. I don't ask for help. I'm not gonna go up to somebody and be like, hey, come help me out at this line. I'm getting backed up. I need a little assistance. I shouldn't have to ask for help. I shouldn't have to ask at all. People should be able to come over and they see you struggling and they should be like, I'm going to give you a hand so we can get this line out of the way and you can slow down and we can just move on. And it's just, I appreciate that sometimes. People are like that sometimes. People will come over and they'll be like, hey, let me help you out. Let's get this line done, And sometimes that's appreciated, sometimes it's not appreciated because some of them like to complain. If they see you trying your hardest to go back and forth and get these crates or these boxes into their crates or gaylords or whatever you're working on here and BDL2 in the Amazon Fulfillment Center as a FL or FC associate, whatever. I think that's what I am. Sometimes people get annoyed at it because they think that you're taking your time and you're going slow. Sometimes I do that because it pisses line, it's getting backed up, it's getting jammed, nobody's doing anything about it. And for the time being, it obsesses me to points where I just walk away. I walk away. I walk away and I go do something that doesn't require more than one person. Something like this, or it could be over at the flex, because it only takes one person to close a cart or a gable and to bring it to a staging area or a stock door. And it just gets annoying. It gets annoying sometimes just to see dumb shit like that happen. Alright, if you work at Amazon, you're team working. Like, you're supposed to be a team. You're not supposed to be one person doing one thing. But, I don't know. Shit gets annoying. I don't want to be that guy, but me and a coworker were having a conversation about this issue. That people walk over, or people are being taken from certain areas, but it's other areas or other lines when they're helping me out, or when they're helping me and my coworker out. But like, it's ridiculous. Things like that should be happening until like at least the line dies down a little bit. So, I don't know. I mean, I want to back up on my coworkers and just be like, hey, they're kind of right. I want to do leadership with them, leadership meeting with them, so I can just be like, hey, they're kind of right. And, I'm a witness to this, and it's not fair that some of us are being taken off the lines and being put to other lines when things are getting backed up. But when it does get backed up, it's fine and dandy, but wait for our line to die down a little bit and then send us off to other lines so that we can help out. Or so we can just work our way back to our respective line, or my respective line. But like, people shouldn't be coming over to lines, staring at us, and then staring at the line, and then just walking away, or coming into the line, looking at a box, not really barely giving a fuck, and not even bothering to like look at a box, look at where it needs to go, can't find it, put it back down, and then just walk away. They stop from helping us. Like, that system, it's so unfair. And personally, I really do believe that it should be brought up to leadership, and that it will be brought up to leadership. If my coworker doesn't go, I'll go myself. I'll say something about it, regardless if they like it or not. At least something needs to be said about it. Like, I know there's the whole My Voice thing, which is the Amazon My Voice. It's just a way for people who work in, the fulfillment center or whatever area they work in to be able to. It gives them a type up, like, I guess, something that's bothering them. And, corporate or HR or whoever runs it will deal with the issue. I've had a feeling that, I've wanted to go and do that. And I don't know. I don't know if I put myself on the spot like that and just be like, this is annoying. I wish, people would take more responsibility, but not a lot can really be done about it, because I want to say it's mainly used for like when items are needing to be restocked, or if something needs to change about like the way things are transported. I guess on a wide scale, it's just, I don't know. Some of the things that I have read off of the TV screen that's over next to one of my areas, that is nothing but a post after post of Amazon My Voice people or workers that have, expressed their opinions about certain matters that they want to see changed. And some of them don't even get answered. Some of them are kind of like obligatory. Some of them are even more or less people are oblivious to them, or management is oblivious to their responses. or no, management is oblivious to responding to these people's matters at the end of issues. But I don't know. Amazon sees this, like, fix your shit, man. It's not fair to sit there and be, you know, the only one working and doing something, and people walk over, barely give a fuck, and then walk away. That's not fair to workers like me or anyone else who has experienced it. Shit's not fair. So fix it. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you enjoyed this. And, you know, leave a like, comment, subscribe, you know, to whatever. Anyway, Midnight Shadows, /DaveeMoo out.